Good morning. My name is Eric Lang, and this is my author channel. And today we're going to talk about a different people-centric project management phenomena. I have so many choices of what to choose to put together. This is my sixth video, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this. This video, we're going to talk about liability, the project killer. And I think this is something that a lot of project managers don't put a lot of time into, and they should. This is part of that human equation in project management. When you're a practical project manager trying to leverage every possible option you have at your disposal to improve project execution and decrease project friction. And liability manifests its way in a couple different ways. One of them is when you make a request to a contributor for a piece of information or for some sort of action, all of those contributors are going to hear your request and they're going to make a calculation, often subconsciously, as to what kind of liability that request puts them in. Are they going to be held responsible for actions in the future? Are they going to be held responsible for the quality of the information that they give you? And that liability factors into how quickly they answer your question, if they answer your question at all, if they take action at all, whether they take instant action to make you go away and then immediately untake that action so as to not be held liable. It's interesting is that there's an inverse relationship when it comes to some question asking. Sometimes you go to a contributor and you'll ask them a question, they'll immediately come back with a question questioning the question. They want to know why or what's going to come of it. Strangely enough, that increases their liability. Their curiosity could make them subject to additional work action, but that curiosity gets the better of them and they respond to the question with a question. But many people, especially when action is requested, make a calculation as to whether or not they're going to be held liable for something in the future. So this is a risk management strategy on the part of contributors in your project. When you reach out to them and task them, and it could be legitimate, it's absolutely legitimate tasking. You're not asking them to do something out of the ordinary. It's just normal project execution. But are they going to be taking on a burden of additional risk and liability by participating? And project managers don't really take this into account. They just assign tasks or request information without taking into account that the person that you're working with isn't looking for trouble. They're not looking for new problems. And if you're able to remove that liability up front, that's the consideration from the project management standpoint. If you take liability in consideration, you remove that liability up front as part of the ask and make that very clear where the liability lands and make that liability where it lands very public so they understand that the project manager holds the liability, whereas the contributor is just being tasked with the work. A lot of times you get some significant more enthusiasm for either providing information or undertaking action if the liability portion is put to bed. Or sometimes contributors will interpret that the ask is actually not all of the ask. You're purposefully misstating the ask in order to get things going. And they know full well that at some time, a week from now, a month from now, the true reveal of what's being asked is going to be presented. And if they know that information, then that will impact their decision on how they're going to proceed with the liability. How do you know you're getting pushback on liability? You'll get endless requests for clarification. They want to know this, they want to know that. What about this? What about that? And those requests will be nonstop. There'll be a lot of obfuscation, and they may bring other people in to try to deflect. This is where you see in emails where you'll see the circular firing squad. Nobody wants to be the one being held responsible or liable or to shoulder the risk. And by not addressing risk up front in the ask, it's creating a situation that's going to make the project management more difficult to move forward. So when you're looking at tasking in a project and engaging with contributors, really think about what is the risk management that needs to be done up front so that you're not creating an obstacle to success for the contributors. So think about that. Liability, the project killer. It's a very real people-centered project management phenomena, one of so many, and like many people-centric project management phenomena, it's very interrelated with the others. Liability, the project killer, obviously interrelated with asking good questions, or words matter, and the circular firing squad. And it's fundamentally an engagement precursor. So whether it's meetings or conversations or one-on-one interaction, anything that's involving tasking and structuring parts of the project, liability and risk, it's just a normal part of the planning process, but it's a part that on the one-on-one with many contributors and even down to a very granular level in the project is not taken into account up front. But if you start seeing that resistance, if you see that things are grinding to a halt and it's difficult to understand why or why not, now you know why. You're looking at a risk management. It's perfectly natural on the part of the contributors. The contributors are just doing what human beings do. Nobody wants to get in trouble for things. Nobody wants to be the one left holding the bag. And one of the ways you do that is make sure that the ask is clearly defined, the liabilities and the risks are clearly defined, and the ownership of the different aspects of it are very well known and well understood up front. Perfection, of course, is not possible, but the obvious stuff can definitely be addressed. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch another one of my videos today. I randomly picked them from inside the book. I've got about 80 of them to choose from. There's some other offshoots from that I'll be able to add in here in the future as well. But it's fun to make these. They're about 5, 6, 7 minutes long. They're interrelated to what's in the book, engagement, focus, intention, and project management, or my older text that I put together, which was Street Smart Project Management. That's the more humorous version. And they're still out there. They're available on Amazon. If you watch this video, please leave a like and comment. And I want to thank you for your time. Have a great day.